Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wednesday here on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your host Eric. This week we are talking about folk magic. So this week we're talking about folk magic. I'm going to give you the short answer. Basically, I think folk magic is pretty much the exact same thing as any other kind of magic, just regionally tweaked. So what I mean by that is that I don't see that it's something that you happen to learn from your grandmother or from somebody just randomly in your region, or somebody who runs a group in your region. They're going to do it a little bit different than pretty much everybody else. From one person to the next is going to do it a little bit differently than anybody else. Or at least they're going to more than likely be thinking about said magic that they're doing differently. So some of the things that I do is I do bind runes, I do Galder, which is basically runic singing, I do inscription of runes. That sort of stuff happens all over the place. That's not really a regional thing, but I do believe it's folk magic, or at least I would call it folk magic because it comes from the people in general. It comes from the people. So if the magic comes from the folk, and the folk are the ones who created said, spells or charms or whatever, I do carry around runes on me. I mean, I have them tattooed on me. I would consider that a form of folk magic, because, well, I got the runes from the folk and I put them on me in a way that no one else that I have seen has done, and I think that's pretty much sums it up. So, I mean, I understand if you guys haven't watched Kara's video or Annie's video, go back and do that. I know I say that pretty much every week, but still, go do that. They made some really good points. Specifically, I wanted to talk about celestial magic and ritual magic as opposed to folk magic. Well, like I said, I don't see that there's a whole lot of difference. I think the term folk magic just basically means that you got this information from someone in your community. I mean, I suppose you could argue that anything you learned out of a book from somebody who is not from your area would not be considered folk magic. Well, I think that's a load too, because they got it from somewhere. It may not be your folk, it may not be your local community, but someone somewhere came up with the idea of this is how we should do this, and it worked. So they kept doing it and they taught it to people, and it became a tradition of the community, and then that tradition spread out. Somebody decided to write it down and give it to the rest of the world, which I think is a fantastic, awesome idea. If I had it in me to do similar things and write my own book, I'd probably try that, but I'm absolutely terrible with words most of the time. Just getting them down on paper eludes me most of the time. Anyway, so when it comes to folk magic in particular, I think it's something that's a little closer to home at most, and if you want to go the broad and wider spectrum route, I think everything that is considered magic is folk magic. Anyhow, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything specifically that you'd like to ask me about what I do or what I use, whatever, feel free to leave those comments in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and of course, until next time, Odin be with you.